Hey guys, welcome back to my fish room. Do you guys want an easy way to green up your aquarium without worrying about fancy soils or substrates? I've got the list for you. So today we're going to go through my top 3 plants that don't need a substrate. I use them, I haven't killed them, therefore you won't kill them either. These plants are going to be great for just ease and maintenance. They're going to be great for fry tanks, they're going to be great for shrimp tanks, they're also great for bare bottom tanks that are just growing out your fish. Now, the way that I tend to use these plants is on very portable substrates, so like, I say substrates, but I mean like bits of driftwood, rocks, things like that. Things that I could grab out of one tank, pop in another tank if I need to. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And yeah, hopefully you will have a green aquarium by the end of the video. Let's get started. So the very first one we're going to talk about is Java Fern. I talk about Java Fern a lot. I have it in, I think, every single tank that I have ever put together. I think minus some Plego tanks simply because they ate it. That's all right, at least it was used for something. So Java Fern, definitely one of my favorites. I think it was my first ever plant too that I got way back when. I'm pretty sure I killed the first one. But then I sort of understood a little bit more about it and what to do. So there's not a lot to it, and a lot of people do recommend this plant to people as their first plant because it is a really hardy, low light plant. You don't need anything fancy to grow it. It will grow by itself on simple fish waste. If you want to do better than that though, and you want like fancy green, let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. The first thing with the Java Fern is it does not need to be buried into the substrate. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is to bury that rhizome. If that rhizome is buried, it can rot and then the plant is dead. That's it, finished. It can't make anything new. It won't pull out any new roots. It's gone. What you want to do to avoid that is attach it to rocks and pieces of driftwood. You can definitely anchor the roots within the substrate as long as that rhizome is not buried. However, I've honestly never had a lot of luck with this. You can do it. It does work. I just put it on rock. I just put it on driftwood. It's easier. And all I do to put it on driftwood is I use little lacquer bands, so little hair ties. Now, a lot of people use super glue. You can definitely use aquascaping super glue or your normal everyday Bunnings super glue. That is definitely an option. However, I don't like doing that because basically what's happening is you're suffocating that little tiny part of the plant. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter. However, I like to use these little tiny hair ties. Just hold on, there. Awesome little hair ties. I used to use them way back when it was the 90s. I used to use them in my hair all the time. So anyone older than me or as old as me knows these guys. And they work wonders in the aquarium. So I just tie them to rocks. I tie it to driftwood just with this and let it go. And then after a while, once it's grown in, it'll attach itself. So no big deal. You could even remove them if you wanted to. So that's what I do. It works really well. I don't have any fancy lights. Majority of the lighting that I use in this fish room is just from a hardware store or even online, just like batten lighting, nothing special. Grows all of my plants very, very well, especially my Java Fern. I'm having a wonderful time with it. So it's not super bright lighting. If I do have a tank that has super bright lighting, like some of my top tanks with the light that's very close to the water, that if I have Java Fern in there, it'll be underneath things. So underneath the driftwood or underneath a rock or whatever, or underneath a sword, something that'll like lots of light that'll shadow that one. Because if you do put a lot of light on these plants, they do tend to burn a little bit. So that is something to look out for. Now, as far as fertilizing goes, I do pump a little bit of fertilizer in my tanks. However, it's nothing particular. It's just a little bit of like aquarium fertilizer and that's it, a little bit of micronutrients. Now, what Java Ferns need in particular is potassium. They do feed quite a bit of potassium. So a good way to get potassium in your tanks is to look for an aquarium fertilizer that has a lot of iron and potassium in it. Otherwise, you can use There's root tabs you can use, but these guys tend to take a lot of their nutrients from the water column, so the root tabs aren't really gonna do it for you. I personally think the best way to get potassium in your aquarium is to use botanicals. So leaves, Indian almond leaves, I've used oak leaves, I've put, seed pods, things like that. What's happening is the botanicals will naturally break down in your aquarium and release potassium into the water column. This is what that Java Fern will feed off. Now, every single type of Java Fern, whether it's your classic Java Fern, mini Java Fern, there's the Triton Java Fern, the crested Java Fern, there's the thin leaf Java Fern, it's all the same, it's just different styles of leaves, it's all eats the same sort of stuff. So your potassium is definitely what you need to worry about, especially if you find you have yellowing leaves, holey leaves, things like that. Usually it is a nutrient deficiency. Potassium would probably be the one that's the problem. Iron sometimes can be, but if you're pumping in some fertilizer, which you really don't have to do. If you're not having any issues, if you've got a beautiful green plant and you're not doing anything but that goldfish is eating and pooping, don't change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, all right, guys? But if you are having issues, usually it's a potassium or an iron problem. So pump in some fertilizer. So number 2 is, of course, Anubias. We love Anubias. She comes in so many different leaf varieties. She's big, she's small, she's beautiful. It's wonderful. I actually didn't have Anubias for a while, but I ended up with it maybe 4 tanks in or something. I can't remember. It's been a long time. I've got a lot of tanks now. Anubias is another rhizome plant. Fabulous plant. Honestly love it. I have it in a lot of tanks. I've sort of ended up just sort of collecting it because every time I saw it for a good price or I saw a type of Anubias I didn't have, I'd grab it. So that is sort of like one of my little Pokemons, catch it all. I do like them. And I've got a really lovely variegated one as well. It's growing really well and I don't do anything to it. I'm literally I'm the laziest plant keeper. I do a little bit more to my indoor plants than I do to my aquarium plants. I just put them in places and go, you gonna live? I don't know. If it doesn't live in my aquariums, I also don't run any CO2 or anything. I'm not gonna even bother you guys with it because unless you're doing CO2 and you're really, really into it, aquarium plants are hard. They die. Fish eat them, it's hard. Anubias though, not hard, easy. Put it in, do nothing, it grows. They are a slow grower though, so be aware you might only get 1 or 2 leaves, but she's hardy, she does it. She doesn't need a lot of light. She can live in high light, she can live in low light, she can live in high temperature, she can live in low temperature. Cold water, probably not. I wouldn't be popping it in 13 degrees, but it's a really hardy plant. It doesn't need a lot. I do pop a little bit of fertilizer in my aquariums, but this particular plant doesn't need it doesn't need anything in particular. It'll benefit again from potassium and iron. However, it's not really required. This one will live really comfortably and happy on fish waste. One of my super duper little tricks with Anubias is to actually just let it float. So when I was collecting it, I was just sort of chucking it in tanks. I didn't attach it to anything. So what's happened there though, is that all these little pieces of Anubias have been growing quite happily in my tanks, but they have also been shooting out little pups for me to use, which is really great because that means that I could break off the rhizome, and then I have another little Anubias plant that I could go ahead and put somewhere else. So that's something that I definitely recommend doing if you are looking to multiply it on a sort of a quicker scale, because it didn't take long for these little pups to grow out because it's looking to anchor itself and it's looking to make a home for itself. So it's pushing out more growth. And I've used it and I still have almost all those little pups now because they've just grown into new Anubias plants. So that's definitely something I would do if you want to make more. And of course, again, this is a rhizome plant, do not bury it. It does have very thick roots. So I tend to use those roots as what I'm going to tie onto, not so much the actual stem of the plant. Or the rhizome of the plant. I'm actually just anchoring roots onto things. Again, I've done it on stones, I've done it on driftwood, I've done it on actual aquarium pieces, little statues, whatever. And it works great. And I just float it in the aquarium And that tends to be honestly the best way to, like, I found, to multiply it to make more plants, especially if I'm setting up tanks, because I'm always setting up tanks. I think I've got another like 20 something tanks to set up to get, because we're going to rebuild this room. That's coming. Let me know if you guys want to like know about that. Like, I was just going to do it because I didn't think anyone would be interested, but Mr. Finfinity reckons everyone would be really interested in that. I'm like, really? I thought you guys would just be interested in fish, but let me know if you are interested in the builds, because like I can definitely make a video on how we're going to rebuild this room, because we're going to rebuild, we're going to knock walls down, guys. We're going to make it a thing, because like I breed angels, you know, like you guys know that I breed angels. I don't have enough space for these bloody angelfish. Like they're pumping out babies. I've got another lot of red devils on the way. I'm so excited, guys. So I am, yeah, definitely rebuilding this room. Anyway, back to plants. So the last one on my list is floating plants, which I know is like a really umbrella term. It's not like a particular plant. I'm gonna do my favorite floating plant, which is a frogbit. I really like the texture of the leaves, and I just find it really easy to grow. It's just, in Australia, we only have like 3 main floating plants that you can have. Everything else is considered a pest plant. You can have your frogbit, your water lettuce, and your red root floaters. Now, red root floaters are a new addition to this fish room because could never keep them alive. They just kept dying. And I recently found out that the reason that I struggled a lot with plants here in this fish room, especially stem plants, which is supposed to be like the easiest plant, and here I am killing them, but okay. It's because our water has nothing in it. Like, it's not, my tap water is like super, super soft. So I actually do add a little bit to our water. If you have got soft water, I will show you what I add. So this is the first one that I add. It's just the Seachem Equilibrium. I do really like it. I find that it's really good. It restores the minerals and the GH. It's perfectly fine. It keeps everything at a really nice sort of base. Now, if I've got a heavily planted tank, or I'm really, really keen on getting something to really grow and do really, really well, I put in Aquapix Amazonian Plant GH. This stuff's great. I also put this in with my pea puffers. I put it in with my hill streams because there's quite a few plants in there that are going really well. I love it. If I need a little extra GH, this is what I put in there. The reason that floating plants are such a good one, especially if you're doing grow out tanks, fry tanks, your frogbit, they have roots that'll grow into the water column. Perfect. What these roots are doing as well is sucking out all of that bad shit that's in the tank. Keeping your water really, really clean. I have found that if I had any kind of problem, especially like algae blooms and things like that, if I had like a problem with the tank, it wasn't doing well, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't equalizing, it wasn't fixing itself, I'd go ahead, put some floating plants in there, boom, done. Tank, gorgeous. Don't even worry about it. I did find that floating plants are a little bit extra when it comes to maintenance though, because when they're doing their job and they are feeding from the water column and keeping your water all clean, they're multiplying. So you will find that it'll be a problem. So you need to, like monthly maybe, you need to scoop out, you know, too many of them. Which, I mean, you can look at it as a curse or you can look at it as a blessing. Curse, I've got all these plants, I'm chucking them in the bin, this is horrible. Or you could scoop them, put them in a container, take them down to your local fish store and be like, hey, I got some floating plants. Can I swap it for some food or some new fish or something else? That's always a good one. So they are kind of hard to find in stores at the moment. I'm finding it took me a while to get the frogbit and I had to grow it to get the amount of frogbit that I've got now. I've only ever bought it once. Red root floaters are also kind of tough right now, especially in Melbourne. Not a lot of stores have them. If a store does have them, buy it. I ended up getting it through the club. I get some of the most amazing plants from growers at the club who know way more about plants than I do. And I'm still learning. Like this is a subject that I am learning on. Like I am not Grandmaster Java Fern lady over here. I don't know what's going on. Like I'm just sort of telling you guys my experience. Like, and that's why I was like, I haven't killed these plants. So if I haven't killed them, you won't either. So these floating plants are definitely something that I've collected over the time that I have been fish keeping, simply because I have found them very, very hard to find. Frogbit's my favorite. I think red root floaters are coming into a close second. Water lettuce, it's okay. I'm not super into it. I don't like the leaf. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's bad in any way. It's not bad. It's a perfectly fine plant. I'm just not into it. I don't know. It's just me. I just don't like the way it looks. It's got nothing. If you guys love it, good. I'm glad. Put it on all your aquariums. I fully support you. I haven't mentioned duckweed. I hate duckweed, man. I've still got it in the fish room. We're slowly getting rid of it, and we're succeeding. We're winning the war. We're winning the war. And I'm sorry that if you've been touched by duckweed, I'm sorry. All right, my condolences to you and your family. All right, I think that's it, guys. So yeah, that's all I sort of wanted to talk about, was just these 3 plants that I haven't killed yet. I hope you don't kill them either. I wish you best of luck of growing more plants in your aquariums. Let me know about your experiences. I want to hear them. Let me know if you have any video ideas that you want me to do, if there's something in particular or a burning question that you really need to know. Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.